Hi there. We are now in September and winter, unfortunately, is just round the corner. I had decided earlier on to invest in a propagator come winter storage for some of the tender plants. Let's face it, we spend a lot of money on the plants, and to let them die through the winter months is a bit stupid. So I decided to invest in one of these units. They call it an electric blanket. To my mind, it's a misleading name. Let me show you what it really is. I've got their catalogue here. This is 2 Western Elliots. There's the actual unit. Alright, it doesn't show, it shows at the top there the actual cover. That's called a cover. This other gubbins, you don't get any of the stuff that's on that mat, but you do get the thermostat, and the prices are down here, which I thought, they're not cheap, but let's face it, you only get what you pay for these days. And unfortunately, I can't find one of these at a boot sale. I got the smaller of the two. They do 2 sizes. This one would just fit in to the end of the greenhouse. Well, I went mad. I ordered it last Saturday, I believe it was. The gentleman was very helpful and said, "Oh, you'll probably get it next Friday." Well, it didn't. It arrived yesterday, which was Tuesday. It's Wednesday today. And what followed was unboxing it. All the bits were there, which for me is unusual, because you normally find things not there. But what I will go over before I start showing it is the list here shows you what is in it. It includes instructions. Well, don't laugh too loud. I certainly didn't. I was very cross. This is the instructions. The photographs, or I don't know what they are, you can't really call them photographs, are ridiculous and a complete waste of time. I would have been better off just tearing it up and using common sense to assemble the cover. They call them covers, so I better stick to that name, the covers. All the bits were there. They have the panels and everything else is listed there, but I didn't know what they meant. I worked it out from the pieces I had. Now, I was very cross about this because, you know, if it had been bought in America, the instructions would have been superb. As over there, I think there's some law that says that instructions should be clear. Over here, we can get away with what I consider crappy instructions. It's a great pity because the item is quite a good item, as you will see. But anyhow, I did get through to the company and they gave me a website, or they sent me a website showing an updated display of how to assemble or where the bits went on the cover. It was better, but they've still got a long way to go. All I would say is, why can't they put a photo in? A photograph tells many pictures, and photos of salient points would be good. Anyhow, let me show you what I've actually got. I'll say I'm quite pleased with it, except the instructions, which was really bad. Let's go over to here. Now here's the actual thing. You have First thing that goes down is polystyrene sheets, and that goes the whole length of the thing. Now, on top of that is a metallised heating cable. As you can see, there's the actual cables, and that goes the whole length of it. It does say here something about using an RCD. Unfortunately, I read it wrong. I thought it said to not use with an RCD, residual current device, but I got it wrong. I apologise, because I did mention this. I'm putting it down to my eyesight, which is not very good. I'm still waiting for a cataract operation, and as I say, I shall probably have to wait. The health service seems to be inundated with drunks and people on a Friday night, which they give preference to rather than people that are genuine. Anyhow, I'll get off my soapbox. You've got on top of that, you've got a polystyrene sheet which keeps the moisture away. That goes back down on top, and on top of that, you've got a capillary mat. This can either be used or not used. Presumably any moisture and that would be distributed throughout the whole thing. There's what it looks like. I've only shown at the moment one end. This is the one of the ends. The other end would be the other end, obviously. This is the part that you construct. Now, if anyone's going to buy one of these things, take note. You've got to have it exactly right, or it won't fit. These bars at the top, I think that's the ridge, which is the top. That's at a different angle to the ones at the side. Now, I would have liked to have had them printed on the actual metal parts itself, but they weren't. You assemble this up. There's the uprights, and note the outer goes outside of that bar that goes across. It won't go the other way around. All the others, it's the other way. It's the other way. The end cover I will show outside on one that's made for the other end. They have little clips. You just see a clip there. There's no mention of that at all. There didn't appear to be. I think it's just common sense. Now, another bit of common sense, which obviously I didn't have. I'm very cross. I've never ever worked with polycarbonate. My greenhouses are good old-fashioned glass. But I had no experience with polycarbonate. Well, this, as you can see, is polycarbonate. It's supposed to be okay with UV light, and it shouldn't cloud up or dull down. But what they didn't say was it's covered in like a thin plastic film. Alright, one side had the name on it, so obviously if it's got a name on it, you think, well, that's not supposed to be there, so let's remove it. But what they didn't say was the fact the other side had a clear film, a sort of bluey coloured film, which went over. And I didn't realise this. And I put the things in, so you'll notice that I had to take it off afterwards. And it wasn't easy. As you look down there, you can see a bit of the covering still in place. So I was a little bit annoyed about that. But I suppose put it down to the common sense. If I had another one of these to do, I could virtually do it in my sleep, because I've already done this. But I do emphasise the fact that the instructions are very poor, and for a product of a well-known company and a good company, it didn't really stand up. Anyhow, let's go on to another point. The heating cable is controlled by a thermostat. I'll turn it on, and it hasn't gone bang. You've got two readings there. Let's refer to the instructions. It's all new to me as well, so I want to make sure I tell it to you right. Yeah, the top reading, 21.8 degrees Celsius, is the actual temperature. The temperature below is what the device is set to, and you set it by, if you want to increase it, you press the positive, and hopefully pressing the other button on the left does exactly nothing. There we go. It increases. Set at 13, which that's well in heat. Now you'll notice that it's off at the moment, which is right. 21 degrees and the innards 13. No, and in fact it should be on. Now let me think straight. No, 20. It's gone to what the temperature is. It wouldn't turn on yet. Here we've got a little indicator. Watts. And as you see, it is not drawing any current at all, or 0.01 watts. The thermostat, for all intents and purposes, is not on. We know it works. Now, the sensor is this thing here, and that would go under the covers, but not down low, because the heat would obviously activate it and you'd get a false reading. So preferably either tack it up so it stands up a bit from the frame, so you test for the air temperature, and that is what you need. Now this is all through various plugs. It all looks safe, but one niggle which I've got is the unit came with a 13 amp socket. Unfortunately, I think this socket is not an English made one, which is a pity. Once again, keeping the price down, but really not a good idea. When you go to plug into it, which this is the cable to the heating pad, so you've got your heating pad, this goes back to your thermostat, and the other wire out of the thermostat goes to your plug. Up there I'm pointing to it and not pointing the camera. Now let's see what happens. When I plug it in, see what happens. Unfortunately, the plug will not go fully in, which means that it could easily work itself out. It's not, you know, it's supposed to go in flush with the watts. So if I can get into that, or even change it to a decent one, I've got to do that. Well, don't really expect that on a brand new product. I would suggest their quality control in some ways is lacking, which once again is a pity, because I'll say it again, the product itself is good, but there are some points which are not good, and that's one of them. That would in fact in some eyes be a safety feature, because in theory you could, but you couldn't really short it out because you've got the insulated parts, but you just can't push it in. There's something not allowing the pins to go fully in. Whether there's something inside there obstructing it, I don't know. The only way is for me to have a little look inside. But you know, these are things that should have been checked. I'm a bit annoyed. If this country is to succeed in the rest of the world, with us leaving the European market, which in my opinion is a grave mistake. I don't want this video to become political, but as far as I'm concerned, it's a very grave mistake. We will see what happens. As it is, my money's decreased through this. So anyhow, getting back to the unit, the little video is virtually over. Let me say that it should work. I haven't shown this completely up, but there'd be a centre section in there and another end there, and it would provide extra warmth in winter or in the summertime if you wanted to use the thermostat. But all in all, hopefully it will keep my plants alive, and that is why I bought it. So if anyone else is contemplating this, don't be put off. It is a good unit, but refer to my instructions. It will make life much easier, particularly when you assemble it. I'm going to go outside and look at the other end one to see how we fix the plastic sheet on the end. So excuse the untidy mess. Here we have the end. And the plastic is fitted on with little clips. These screw onto the side. That's what the top looks like. There's the end to give you an idea. All the cross members bolt on outwards of them. All these pieces are all the same length. So are the actual polycarbonate sheets. They're all the same, with the exception being the end sheet, which is obviously bigger. Turning it around, show the sides. There's the clip which holds the ends on. There's 4 of those. They're simple clips which holds the polycarbonate in. Now, as I said before, the bars that go across are bolted on, and then anything else under it is bolted on, fitted under. And this is the piece that's on there now. At the bottom, this is important, goes the other way around. It's then on the up side than the bar going across. Once again, the bar going down is on the top. So the top one is on top of the bar, and this one, the bar, is on top of the piece going across. And you'll see what I mean about the plastic. I had to take it off, not realising that there was a film on the thing, so that didn't make me very happy. Now that's the unit. I will give reports on how it behaves, what the capabilities are. Hopefully it'll do the job. Anyhow, thanks for looking. Any comments please make, any information you want, please shout. I will try and help out. And I will repeat, a goodbye, but instructions need a bit of looking into, particularly the instructions how to screw the thing together. It looks simple, but there's a lot of pitfalls you can fall into. Apart from that, there shouldn't be a problem. Anyhow, once again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Any info, get back to me and I will help you out. Thanks for watching. Thank you.